Yo, what's up guys? Rob here with another Call of Duty Warzone video, and today I'm going to be showing you the top 5 best SMGs in Warzone Season 5. So let's get straight into the video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Peace! So for number 1, the Vanguard PPSH is by far the most overpowered SMG in the game right now. The hipfire build is extremely good. All you have to do is point and shoot and you will absolutely destroy everyone without having to really try too much. The gun is broken and it definitely needs a nerf. So these are the attachments I'm using for my hipfire PPSH build. For the muzzle, I'm using recoil booster, it gives us that extra fire rate. For the barrel, I'm using the 230mm B03P, gives us hipfire accuracy, hipfire recoil recovery, and fire rate, which is nice. And then the optic here, you can choose whichever one you want. I used to use the G16 and slate reflector. I switch on and off between them. Right now I'm using slate reflector, which is fine. And then for the stock here, I'm using remove stock for hipfire accuracy, movement speed, and sprint to fire speed. For the underbarrel here, I'm going with the Carver foregrip for that extra hip fire accuracy and vertical recoil control. For the magazine, I'm using an 8mm non-boot 71 round mags. Gives us recoil control and accuracy, fire rate, magazine ammo capacity, which is nice. And then we're going with lengthen for the ammunition for that extra bullet velocity. This gun is sick at long range as well, hipfire, which is really absolutely broken right now. So yeah, with lengthen it just makes it even more broken. And then for the rear grip here, we're using fabric grip, gives us ADS speed, sprint to fire speed, but most importantly that hip fire accuracy. And then for our perks here, I'm using tight grip for accuracy and recoil during sustained fire. And then for perk number 2, I'm using quick for sprint speed. So like I said, this gun is extremely broken in every facet of the game. From range it's broken, from up close it's broken, you don't have to ADS, which makes it broken. This gun is just the absolute meta right now. The Blixen is my favorite SMG in the game right now. The fire rate is not as fast as the PPSH or other SMGs that we're going to be talking about on this list. However, it does a lot of damage, doesn't have that much recoil, and it's pretty fun to use.
I had to reload?
So these are the attachments for my Blixen build here. For the muzzle, we're going with recoil booster for that extra fire rate. For the barrel, we're going with the Johnson 9-inch RMK. Gives us damage range, and bullet velocity. We used to use the 17-inch F3, but it got nerfed since the last update, so we're using the Johnson 9-inch right now. For the optic, I'm using slate reflector. For my stock here, I'm using remove stock for that extra movement speed, sprint to fire speed, and ADS speed. And then for the underbarrel here, I'm using the SG98 compact. Gives us aim walking movement speed and reduced scope sway and gun bob, which is really nice because this gun does have some kick to it. For the magazine, we're using the 7.62 Gorenko 54 round mag. Gives us recoil control and accuracy, increased torso damage, and the magazine ammo capacity is increased. For the ammunition here, I'm using lengthen for bullet velocity. You can use subsonic or hollow point, whichever one you want. I prefer lengthen for that bullet velocity for range battles. And then for my grip here, I'm using tape grip. Gives us aiming stability, movement speed, weapon swap quickness, and sprint to fire speed. And then for my perks here, I'm using fleet for movement speed and weapon swap quickness. And perk number 2, we are using quick for sprint speed. So this is my favorite SMG in the game right now, the Blixen. However, it is just slightly below the hipfire PPSH build. That gun is extremely insane, but if you want a normal SMG where you aim down sight, then the Blixen is by far my favorite right now. The Armaguerra 43 is definitely in the meta right now. It has an extremely fast fire rate, which makes up for the lack of damage it might have. The range on it is good as well, and up close you just completely melt people. So these are the attachments to my Armaguerra 43 here. For the muzzle, we're using recoil booster for that extra fire rate. We're using the Iizroberto 180mm short barrel, which gives us ADS speed, aim walking movement speed, and sprint to fire speed, which is really nice. Optic is slate reflector. The stock is the Iizroberto TA skeletal. Gives us aim walking, steadiness, aim walking movement speed, ADS speed, and initial firing recoil, which is nice. For the underbarrel, I'm using the SG98 compact for that reduced scope sway and gun bob, which is really nice. For the magazine, we're using the 9mm 60 round mag for that extra ammo. For the ammunition here, we're using lengthen for bullet velocity. For my grip here, I'm using groove grip for aim walking movement speed, horizontal recoil control, EDS firing movement speed, and aiming stability. And then for my perks here, I'm using hard scope for that extra recoil control, which is nice. And for perk number 2, I'm using quick for sprint to fire speed. Now, right behind the Blixen, this is my second favorite SMG in the game. However, the PPSH is still better than this one, but this gun is a close contender to the PPSH and Blixen in my opinion, and it's my second favorite SMG in the game right now. So for number 4 here, we have the Mark 05. I feel like this SMG was better in the past. I don't think it does as much damage or has as much range on it as it did before. However, it is definitely still a top 5 meta SMG. These are the attachments that I'm using for my Mark 05 build. For the muzzle, I'm using recoil booster for that extra fire rate. For the barrel, I'm using the Perfetto Lesto 355mm. Gives us ADS speed, movement speed, aim walking movement speed, and sprint to fire time, which is nice. The optic, I'm going with slate reflector. For the stock here, I'm using the Emerito FR. Gives us initial firing, recoil recovery, aim down sight speed, and movement speed. The underbarrel here, I'm using the Mark 6 skeletal for extra movement speed and aim down sight speed. For the magazine here, I'm using the 8mm non-boost 64 round drum. Gives us hip fire accuracy, recoil control, and magazine ammo capacity. For the ammunition here, we're using lengthen for that bullet velocity. For our rear grip, we're using taped grip for aiming stability, movement speed, weapon swap quickness, and sprint to fire speed. And then for my perks here, I'm using Frenzy. Gives us health regeneration after a kill, which is pretty nice if you have multiple people on you. And then for perk number 2, we're using quick for sprint speed. Now, this gun, I feel like it used to be better, and the problem with it right now is that it doesn't hit as hard compared to the Blixen or the Armored Wearer 43 or the PPSH, but I still think it is a top meta weapon right now. Maybe I have to change the build a little bit to add more damage, but this gun is still in the top 5 SMGs in my opinion. Now here we have the RA225. This gun's fire rate is extremely fast. However, it doesn't have a big enough mag right now. I need to unlock the 55 round mag to make this gun more viable. However, once I do, I can see this gun being a top 5 meta SMG. Then finally, for my last SMG, which is the RA225. Now, I unlocked this blueprint at level 24 on the battle pass. However, I did make some adjustments and I don't have it max level right now, but these are the attachments I'm using right now. So recoil booster for that extra fire rate, the Urban Rapid 11, which gives us fire rate as well. Slate reflector here. The stock here is just the blueprint stock here. I'm going to change this once I level it up. I might try out a different stock, but for now I'm using this one. And then for the underbarrel, I'm using the M19 striped angle for that horizontal recoil control. For the magazine, I'm using the 38 round mag. Gorenko 38 round mag gives us recoil control, fire rate, movement speed, ADS speed. I know there's a bigger mag for 55 rounds, so I might try that one once I unlock it. But for now, I'm using this one. But I feel like you're going to have to use the 55 round mag because 38 rounds is just not enough if you're fighting multiple people. For the ammunition here, we're using lengthen for that bullet velocity. For the rear grip here, I'm using tape grip for aiming stability, movement speed, weapon swap quickness, and sprint to fire speed. And then for my perks here, I'm using tight grip for that accuracy and recoil during sustained fire, and fully loaded. I might switch this to quick, but for now I'm just using fully loaded. So yeah, this is basically the blueprint you get at level 24 on the battle pass, and I definitely do think once I unlock the correct attachments for this gun, I just have to swap out the stock and possibly the magazine or perk number 2 here, and then I think this gun is definitely a top 5 meta gun for SMGs right now. So those are my top 5 SMGs in Warzone Season 5. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and leave a like. Thanks for watching. Peace!